Good evening. Heavy rain continuing to work its way northwards across the country overnight. On high ground to the north of the central belt, falling as sleet and snow, certainly on some higher road routes, a little bit wintry through the early hours. Windy in the northwest as well, certainly around the coast.
Hello, it's going to be a very mild Christmas for many of us, with some sunny spells, a few showers thrown in too. Having said that, later in the day, tomorrow on Christmas Day in the Highlands, we could have some snow, so it could well be a white Christmas for some of us. Here's the satellite picture, and you can see the weather systems streaming in from the southwest. That's a very mild direction. The air is coming in almost from the subtropics, so subtropical maritime air over us right now. Yesterday it was around 14 degrees in the southeast, and another very mild day to come today. So the forecast for the afternoon for Christmas Eve, a lot of fine weather across the bulk of England, Wales, eastern Scotland too, but come the afternoon where we are expecting showers to spread in off the Atlantic. Some of them could be quite heavy. Temperatures between around 6 in Lowick and 12 in London. So here's the forecast for this evening and overnight. With low pressure close by and weather fronts circling the UK, it will be quite hit and miss on the weather front, so heavy showers, clear spells here and there, and a very mild end to the night and start to Christmas Day. 9 degrees on the south coast of England, 6 degrees in Stornoway. Now here's that area of low pressure with the weather fronts close by, so very hit and miss weather to come on Sunday. Certainly some sunshine in the forecast, but be prepared for a few showers too. There could be some persistent rain for a time in the morning and into the afternoon, roughly from the Isle of Wight through London into East Anglia here, so possibly wet at times, but elsewhere it's that mixed bag of sunny spells and showers on Christmas Day, and very mild 11 degrees in the south. So on those showers in Scotland, come the evening, the wind will switch direction, and Christmas Day evening we'll see some of that snow settling across the Highlands. And the temperatures into Boxing Day, you can see, are close to freezing, so we will see some snow lying on the ground, but that's mostly in the hills. A very blustery, cold day on Boxing Day, at least temporarily in Scotland. Temperatures 4 or 5 degrees, a little bit milder there in central England, around 6, and south on the south coast. And then after that brief colder spell, it's going to turn milder once again, and you can see the run up to the new year is looking pretty unsettled with gale force winds and rain at times. Bye-bye.
Hello. With the exception of parts of Scandinavia, around the Baltic countries, a lot of Europe having temperatures which are above the average for the time of year. That's pretty much how we're going to see out the rest of the year as well, on the mild side. Low pressure though will bring some rain, heavy at times in places. The wettest weather as we look at the forecast into Sunday will be across western areas here, stretching up from Portugal, the northwest of Spain through northern France, and impacting parts of the United Kingdom as well. A weather system which is also extended here into Scandinavia, and as that feeds into the colder air in place, though not bitterly cold by any stretch of the imagination, we are going to see some fresh snowfall in places. We can follow that system then all the way down to Lisbon here. East of all of that, in Spain, it will be a dry Sunday and quite a bit of dry weather on through the Mediterranean. Another weather system bringing some rain and a bit of especially mountain snow across western parts of Turkey. Well, weather continues to feed a little bit further east on through Monday, and it's behind this system actually we will find some cooler air filtering in towards northern parts of France and into the United Kingdom as well. But anything cooler doesn't last very long, as temperatures will be set to head up once again. Now we are going to see some wet weather moving through Bordeaux, so it is a distinctly unsettled picture here for the next several days, and indeed in Helsinki for that matter, of course colder here. Hello, the latest forecast for the Middle East in just a moment. Let's start things off in Africa, and we'll start by the recent satellite picture, and this is the zone of seasonal rains at the moment. You can see the clouds flaring up on the satellite picture. We've also got a strip of wet weather through eastern parts of South Africa, bringing some heavy and thundery downpours in places. Much of the north, with high pressure in control, is looking dry. The further east you are, it's a bit cooler than average. The further west you are, Morocco into northern Algeria, for example, you'll find temperatures are a bit above the average for the time of year. There is a weather system just across eastern parts of the Mediterranean that will bring a chance for showers into Cairo. For Lagos and for Tripoli, it is dry. In Durban, there will be some heavy and possibly thundery downpours around at times. Now, as I mentioned, there is a chance of catching some showers in Cairo. That chance soon diminishes. It does turn a bit cooler into Casablanca, where at the moment it does feel quite warm in the sunshine. Plenty of downpours around into the Levant on Sunday, and it's a system that's going to move its way further east, taking the rain with it, and fairly unsettled through parts of Saudi Arabia and the Gulf, as we see cooler air filtering its way southwards, and increasing chance of getting some showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds as we move from Sunday into Monday, and some wet weather into Damascus, moving on towards Baghdad. Bye-bye. Hello, an area of low pressure has been gradually moving further west through the Bay of Bengal. It's now getting closer to Sri Lanka and off the coast of the southeast of India, so into Tamil Nadu in particular, and that's bringing an increasing chance of seeing not just some wet but some windy weather too. In contrast, across the north of India, not much cloud to show you there. It is dry, but where the winds are light, we're seeing not just chilly conditions but foggy weather in places too. It looks particularly dense through portions of Punjab into Delhi as well, so that will be having some local impacts, and air quality will be struggling in places here as well. The air just isn't moving around very much. As we look across Central Asia, temperatures are at or a little bit below average for the time of year. Some spots will turn a little bit milder over the next couple of days. Plenty of dry weather to be found here as well. We move further south through India, and this is the forecast into Sunday, and this is where we are going to pick out some of that wet, but also quite windy weather, especially if you're on the coastline here and across parts of Sri Lanka. It's turning wetter as well. So we'll continue with a feed of downpours across this area as we go on through the next couple of days. North of that, of course, plenty of dry weather to be found. So courtesy of that low pressure system, we're going to see some further downpours around Colombo and indeed into Chennai as well. Some heavy and thundery showers to be had, at least for the next couple of days. There are some drier days ahead once more. That's it for now. A reminder, there is more as ever online. Hello, we'll take a look at the latest weather for New Zealand and Australia in just a moment. Let's start off talking about some snow in Japan continuing to pile up across northern parts of the country into Hokkaido, the northwest of Honshu. And we have through parts of China, the Korean Peninsula and into Japan, the air coming down from the north. And of course, that's a cold direction, so that's just adding to the chill here. And although there's a lot of dry weather across the Korean Peninsula, temperatures are struggling to get above freezing in Seoul and indeed in Beijing, and 7 for the top temperature in Shanghai. We've got an area of rain, sleet and snow impacting central areas of China. Got a bit of heavy rain across southern areas of the Philippines. We've had heavy downpours across portions of Indonesia. There are still some showers around, though overall not looking as wet as it has been. And temperatures in Tokyo with some sunny spells topping out at around 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. In Australia, we have some heavy and flooding rain impacting parts of the north from a declining tropical weather system, especially into Northern Territory, whereas to the south, it's all about some building heat at the moment from Adelaide and across to Melbourne. Temperatures heading up, even warmer in Melbourne by Tuesday. Then we will find a cool change coming through as the weather front brings some rain. There are some showers around in New Zealand and the chance of things turning wetter across parts of the North Island as we go through the week ahead. We are going to get some showers and some of them are going to be quite heavy around Brisbane. Hello. Huge and widespread impacts continue from the bitter freeze which has taken hold of much of Canada and the USA, which is making world headlines at the moment. You can see this bomb cyclone, this very deep area of low pressure where it's sitting as we look at the forecast going into Sunday, as it continues with its heavy snow and blizzards, heavy lake effect snow around that as well. Another system, albeit weaker, just taking some fresh snowfall through the northern plains of the USA. But the overall trend behind this weather system as it clears away is for things to turn milder, and for some spots it's just going to be a huge turnaround as we head towards the end of the year. Also bringing impacts will be the scale of the wet weather impacting British Columbia across to Alaska, the Pacific Northwest of the USA. We're talking rain, heavy mountain snow, strong winds, a chance of freezing rain causing some problems in places as well. So we are going to see that wet weather impacting in towards Eugene, for example, whereas Vegas staying dry, will be turning a bit cooler here. So we continue with impacts from snow and strong winds through the Great Lakes across portions of the east of Canada, the northeast USA on through Sunday. South of all of that, plenty of dry weather, but we know how far south this bitterly cold air has continued to progress, so we have continued impacts out of that. The main story, though, will be how quickly temperatures are set to recover over the next few days. Hello, the latest weather for Mexico, Central America and the Caribbean on the way. We will start off in South America. Here's a recent pressure set up here. This area of low pressure is taking some wetter weather further north. Got a trailing weather front here down through parts of Argentina, Uruguay, pushing in towards southern Brazil. Some heavy downpours into Paraguay too. Also got a weather system bringing through this part of Brazil, some heavy rain, and we could well see some further impacts in terms of flooding out of that. Now we'll look towards the northwest, and there are some showers around, although there are plenty of places here that are essentially having a dry Saturday. Far north of Brazil also seeing some heavy rain, but there are a few places that are going to see some rain in Brazil during Saturday, such as the extent of the downpours here. As you look further south, just a few weather systems occasionally brushing the far south. Buenos Aires, the forecast here keeps it dry. You notice the temperature just edging upwards, and we will see some showers occasionally around Rio de Janeiro. Cold air has been moving further south through Mexico, particularly across the east of the country, and with that we're seeing some rain at times too, and also some colder weather appearing through much of Central America and feeding in towards Cuba as well. We've got a weather front clear with rain and some showers around here, whereas into Kingston, Jamaica, just the odd shower around, but also some sunny spells here, and temperatures holding up at around 30 degrees Celsius, but it's certainly feeling quite cold into Havana.